Holy cow! Wow, someone's already here. What's up? There's like a thumbs up and a person already here. Apparently, I don't know how that's possible. Unless was there like a I don't know. I don't know how these like live things work sometimes. Um, so if someone's here, hello, welcome. That's if there's no one here, then hello, ghost. How are you? Let me get to my page so I can pull up the chat. Hey, Nova, were you just like sitting on my page? Ferris, what's up? You guys are in here quickly. That's amazing. Hold on one second. You might hear my voice coming. Thank you for the 2 thumbs up. I appreciate it. Oh, let me get rid. Hold on one second. There we go. All right, I'm good. Now I can see your my eyes have been a little weird lately. Hey, Danny, what's up? How's it going? My I've noticed that things far away from me are getting a little blurry, which is not good. It's like, I'm hoping it's just because I'm overworked right now. Tonight's episode, we can talk about random stuff. I don't know how long I'll do this for, maybe just like 30 minutes or whatever, but I don't know what else to do. I had a really, hey, what's up? My apologies for not being on streams. Actually, school sucks. Online school sucks. Oh, it's okay, Cinnabon. I appreciate you being here now, and I get it. I get it. Not, but good luck in school. I hope you're doing well. And yeah, I can imagine. I've taken some online courses before. Now with this COVID thing, I'm sure school is drastically different for a lot of people. So all of you stay safe out there. Everyone who's a student who goes to school, like be safe, and hopefully you guys are doing all right. But I'm sad that you said that you don't like Venom. We talk about, I love Venom. It's like, I was joking. I know you're young, so you probably don't know sarcasm yet. But yeah, I mean, I wouldn't make 570 episodes of a character I don't like. I love Venom. He's one of my favorite characters of all time. So yeah, I get it. Sometimes when I'm sarcastic, I play it really straight because I think it's funny to do that. But I understand that, people who aren't picking up on that aren't picking up on that. So I apologize, Ferris, for misleading you. This year's been horrible for you. I hear you, man. I hear you. Well, air out your grievances. If you guys have had a bad year, what's up, Hotspot? If you've had a bad year, let me know. I'm glad to have made it to another stream. I'm glad you're here too. Like I said, I probably won't do this for very long. I got to go to bed soon. This year does suck, though. You're right about that, Ferris. So I had this thing happen at work. So as you guys know, I moved here to Florida. I was struggling to find a job. And now let me explain why, because I think some people might not understand this. I have what some would categorize as an invisible disease. Sometimes when you have a head injury or you're post-aneurysm, like Emilia Clarke, she's an actress that's in Hollywood. She has had, I believe, 2 aneurysms. She's closing in on me. I've had about maybe 7 now, roughly. New ones develop since my first one that ruptured. The thing with aneurysms is that it's a hard thing to get on disability and stuff with. If you can function, if you can stand and talk and do basic things, then disability is really tough. It's made for people who really, really need it. And so they're used to a lot of people trying to scam the system. So it's not that they think some people, like in my case, or my friend Gene's case, who is having trouble. He's an aneurysm survivor, and he's went through 1 aneurysm, and he's having trouble finding work. The thing is, when they look at you, they're like, well, he talks, he can stand, and he can lift 30, 40 pounds. For the most part, I don't see why he can't work, which is true. I don't want to be on disability because I've met people who are aneurysm survivors who cannot physically do things. And although it's tough for me to do things sometimes, I've seen people who have it way worse. So just for that reason, I'm like, I don't want to sign up for disability. I want to work. I can work and I want to work. So when I do my resumes, I have 2 resumes. I have one resume where I don't mention that I'm an aneurysm survivor, and I have another resume where I mention that I'm an aneurysm survivor once or twice in the resume, because I talk about Soulstar and the Naive project and the things I did with that. And in the resume, in that version of the resume, it mentions that I'm an aneurysm survivor. The reason I have 2 versions is because, and I hate sending out the one that doesn't say I'm an aneurysm survivor on it, because it's dishonest. But I've noticed that sometimes when I do send out the one that says I'm an aneurysm survivor, I don't even get callbacks from jobs that I'm definitely qualified for. And the reason is they'll say they don't discriminate against you. They'll say like, oh, no, that's not a discrimination thing. It was between you and one other applicant. And you're like, yes, but I have 20 years of sales and retail experience, and that other person probably had 4 or 5 years. But because they're like 25 and healthy, and I'm nearing 40, and I'm a post aneurysm survivor with other, aneurysms from time to time that I have to get dealt with. When you see those two resumes next to each other, a lot of companies pick the young person with the less experience because they're just like, what's experience? Who cares? This person will learn, and they're healthy, and that's all that matters. And that's not fair, but it happens a lot. And so I had two versions of my resume, and so sometimes I hesitate to send out the version that doesn't say I'm an aneurysm survivor, but I notice that when I do send that one out, companies call me back and they say, hey, do you want to do an interview? So the job I currently have, I don't remember what version I sent them because I uploaded it to like LinkedIn, and then also another one to like another job app. So I was like, I don't know which one I uploaded there. So I get hired for this job, and they interview me. I nail it on the interview. They're like, well, you're hired. We'll bring you on in a couple weeks. So I do that. About a month into the job, this job is outside at SeaWorld in the heat, against a lot of elements that maybe I'm not designed for, but I tough it out because I have no choice, and I don't want to be on disability. I want that to be for people who really need it. And one day I'm going to really need it. I'm going to get worse. So I'm going to need it one day. So I would rather that me use it on that day when it comes. I believe in working hard for what I want in life, and what I want in life is just a roof over my head and food for me and my dog. That's literally all I want out of life. All my big dreams and all the things I've always wanted to do when I was younger, I don't care about anymore. I just like being alive and having our own place and being together. Like that's all I care about. I'm very simple like that. So I go to work, and one of the days I was at work, I got dehydrated because they're supposed to provide water or things for you out in the heat, and they say drink water, drink water. They put me at this game at SeaWorld that's in the back, where there's normally a booth where you can get drinks, and then if that's closed, there's a little office nearby where you can go in and get water. The booth was closed, and the office had no water in it. They didn't refill their water jug, so even the employees that worked in the store didn't have water. So I had no water, and I got dehydrated, and there's a constant pain in my head. I have it every day for the last 10 years. But an actual headache started to grow on top of that. And it was because I was dehydrated. I was getting dizzy. And so I was leaning against my game. I wasn't feeling well. And I text my boss, hey, I'm not feeling well. Can you send me some water or something? Like, can you help me? He didn't get that text, unfortunately, until like 45 minutes later. Luckily, someone was coming by my booth anyway to send me to lunch. And instead of going to lunch, I went to the office and I told my boss, hey, I'm not feeling too well. I'm getting dizzy. Feel like I'm going to pass out. Can I just sit here on a stool and drink a bunch of water for lunch? I don't want to go to the lunchroom. I just want to sit right here for 30 minutes. And he said, no, you should go to the first aid. Let's get you checked out. So we go to the first aid. I get checked out. They're worried about me because I'm like wobbling a little bit. I'm touching my head because my head hurts. The guy there was like, that's a little unusual. Why are you touching your head? And I said, well, because I have two pains. I'm an aneurysm survivor, and I have this other headache. And he said, you're an aneurysm survivor. And then he started freaking out. And he's like, let's get you some electrolytes. Let's have you lie down. Let's call an ambulance. And I said, no. I don't want to go to a hospital. I've been to 2 hospitals during COVID. I don't want to go to a hospital during COVID ever again. On the off chance that they quarantine me right and they put me in a nice room, that's great. But the odds of me getting COVID by going to a hospital surrounded by people with it is something I don't want to deal with. So I was like, please don't send me to the hospital. My head hurts. I'm dizzy. I think I just need water. Can I just go home? I can't stand and do the game anymore. I hate to be a baby about it, which I wasn't really being a baby. I actually was dehydrated. So I said, just hydrate me. Please don't send me back out there today. I'm sorry. Let me go home and rest. I'll come back tomorrow. I promise I'll kick butt for you guys. And they said, no, you have to go to the hospital. I said, I don't want to. I don't want to go. Please don't make me go to the hospital. Like, well, what if you go home and die? And I said, then I die in my bed, and that's fine. I don't want to go to a hospital. Please don't send me. And they said, you have to go, but don't worry. We're going to cover this on workman's comp. We're going to pay for your hospital trip. So I said, okay. And I said, so do you want the ambulance? I said, no, because then in the back of my head, I'm thinking, what if they don't pay for this? Then I got to pay for the ambulance, which is like $2,000 or $4,000 sometimes. And then you got to pay for the hospital. I said, no, they already called my friends to come get me, like my emergency contacts, my friend Nathan and Barb. So they came and got me, and my boss was like, take him to the hospital. I said, no, take me home. I want to go to bed. And he said, take him to the hospital. We're urging you to do that. We just want to get him checked out. Workman's comp will pay for it. So they said this to my friend too. So they take me to the hospital. I get the treatment. They look at me. They give me a CT scan. We can't do MRIs, so we have to do CT scans on me. So we did a CT scan. It showed nothing. So good. No aneurysm problems. They just did it as a check, right? They didn't do it. That's not why I went to the hospital. I went there because I was dehydrated. But they were worried about a possible aneurysm thing, which I said, look, I just got one coiled in February. It's not going to be an aneurysm thing. They're like, well, can we just double check? I even told the doctors at the hospital. And I said, we just want to double check. We got to do our job. I said, okay, fine. It's on workman's comp anyway, fine. So I go on, they put me in a hospital room. They seclude me away from other patients and stuff who are sick. It's a nice hospital. It was really, really nice. Dr. Phillips something. And so I'm there. They do the CT scan. It shows nothing. And they're like, okay, it's nothing, but you are a little dehydrated. So we're going to hook some fluids up to you, electrolytes, and we're going to get you hydrated again. And I said, thank you. And they hooked me up with some IVs, and I kind of passed out for a little bit, and I got rejuvenated. And then I proceeded to pee like a racehorse for like 2 days afterwards, because they actually, I think, gave me 2 bags of IVs or something like that, like 2 jugs of fluids. Because I was in there for a couple hours. So then I was like, they're like, all right, here's your workman's comp form, and here's your form. Just give this to your boss, and they'll take care of it. I'm like, okay. So I give it to my boss. They don't fill it out for like a whole month. So like a couple weeks ago, like 2 weeks ago, I get here from the hospital. They're like, we've been calling you. Where have you been? I said, oh, I'm sorry. I don't answer numbers I don't recognize. I'm so sorry. What is this about? Like, because they emailed me, and they said, we need you to pay this bill. And I said, what bill? Like, I thought it went to workman's comp. And they're like, well, your boss never filled out the form. They never sent it to us. So you need to take care of it now. And I'm like, what the hell? So I bring that information to my boss, and I go, what's going on? Why am I not on workman's comp? Like, why didn't you guys take care of this? Like, you guys said you would. You made me go to the hospital. I didn't want to go. You said, like, your actual words were, workman's comp will take care of this. Don't worry about it. We're going to get you taken care of. And I said, okay. So all that went on. I give the stuff to my boss like 2 weeks ago, and I go, can you figure something out? Like, what's going on? Why am I getting the bill? And he said, oh, let me talk to my bosses, and we'll figure it out. We'll get back to you. So today I go into work, the beginning of like a 9.5-hour shift, and I get to work, and the first thing he tells me is, hey, got bad news. We can't cover your bill. And I said, why not? And he goes, because you have a pre-existing condition. I go, but I didn't go to the hospital for aneurysms. I went to the hospital because I was dehydrated because you guys told me to go. And I go, I wanted to go home in my bed. And I go, why didn't you guys just let me go home? We wouldn't have to deal with this. Like, why did you make me go to the hospital? But you said your exact words that I heard and my friend heard. So even if you think I wasn't all there, my friend Nathan heard him say, my boss, workman's comp will take care of this. So I got stuck with this bill now that I can't afford. It's too much. I can't afford it. And I'm like, why isn't this taken care of? Like, when I got hurt at LACO, I hurt my back and my shoulder, and they sent me to physical therapy. They didn't go, hey, you have a pre-existing condition of aneurysm, so we're not going to help your back. I went to the hospital because I was dehydrated and I needed nourishment. I didn't go because of an aneurysm thing. They just wanted to double check. I told the doctor there, I said, I'm fine. You don't have to check that. Just give me some IVs and let's go. And he said, let's just check to be sure. And I said, okay, fine. So he checked. Luckily, the CT scan showed nothing. So I got stuck so I get told this at the beginning of my shift. Hey, sorry, we can't pay the bill. And I'm like, what do you mean you can't pay the bill? Every company in Florida, it's a Florida law that every company has to have workman's comp. So you bring a workman's comp case to them of, hey, this guy got dizzy. We had to send him to the hospital to get checked out. He's fine. He's back at work. He's making a ton of money for us. Or he's making good money for us. I'm not making a ton, but I'm doing good at the job. And it's like, then they just, that side of the department or company just takes care of the bill. It literally is that easy. So when I hear, hey, we can't pay for it, I'm like, who can't pay for it? What are you talking about? It sounded like he went and talked to like 2 other guys who work at the company, and they decided just to not do any of the paperwork. Like, it just seemed weird to me. But then to tell me all this at the beginning of my shift, and then to go further, my boss said, well, why didn't you tell me you had an aneurysm before? And I said, well, the main one happened 10 years ago, but then I explained to him, look, I have 2 resumes. And on one, I don't have it. On the other one, I do have it. And I go, and I don't like being dishonest with people, but I don't get called back when I tell people I have an aneurysm, despite the fact that I can do the job and that I work really hard. And he said, okay, well, I'll talk to the guys again and see if we can't work something out. But I'm like, so I came home today. So I worked a whole shift. They set my goal. So I have to, at my job, I have to make money in cash only because they're not allowed to use card readers for some reason, which no one really carries cash anymore, but luckily today they put me on a game and they set my goal for $1,000. And I had to make $1,000 in 7 hours in cash at this one basketball game. And I did it. I made $1,004 today. I hit a goal that I was like, there's no way I'm going to hit this. I'm going to maybe hit $700, 800 at the most. But I know what my limits and I know how hard I push myself. And I'm like, I'm not going to hit this 1,000. That's a ridiculous goal. I always get set up for failure. Like they always set these goals really high. And I understand they need that money to, get by, but you're not supposed to set your employees up for failure. Yeah, I was like, if it was 800, I would have been like, yeah. And then I could have crushed it, gone past 800 and been like, hey, look at that. We did better than we were supposed to. But it was 1,000. So I did $1,004 today, which I don't think anyone else that worked there today could have done. And I like everyone else that works there, and they're hard workers too, but I'm telling you, I don't know if anyone could have done that. So I hit $1,000 today. And well, maybe Alana could have, because while I was on my lunch break, she made me like $150 on that game. So she helped out big time. So I only made $850 on my own, and she made the other $150. So without her, we wouldn't have hit that 1,000. But that's what I mean. It took 2 workers to do it, but we still did it, and we hit that goal, that not impossible goal, but a very high goal. And I did my job today despite feeling less than human. And that's why I titled this episode that. I'm not a baby when it comes to stuff. I tough it out because I have to tough it out every day. I have things that people don't physically see me suffering from that I deal with every single day. And I go to that job and I do it every single day. No matter how hard it is on me, I do it. But when I hit my limit, I tell them like, hey, I'm at my limit. I'm not feeling too well. Can I go home, or can you just put me somewhere else right now, or just let me calm down, take a little bit longer break, something, like give me something. But I rarely ask for that stuff. So it bummed me out to be talked to like that this morning, and then being like, all right, now go out there and make $1,000 for us. And I'm like, is this $1,000 going to help me pay that bill, or is it just going to go to you guys and it's not going to help me at all? And so now I'm just divided. I don't know what to think. Like I felt like I felt just like I felt less than human. Like I said, like the way I was talked to this morning, and basically getting my aneurysms thrown in my face. Why didn't you didn't tell us about this? So I came home and I looked at my resume that I uploaded to LinkedIn and to the other apps that went to this job when they hired me. And it says on my resume, I sent them the right resume. And I remember because I was looking at that resume and I said, I sent them the one that says I'm an aneurysm survivor. And I'm so glad I did, because I hate sending the lie one. I hate it. And I can't, even if it means I don't get a job, I will be honest and I will send the resume that says that I'm an aneurysm survivor. And so they have that. So he knew, he had my resume and knew I was an aneurysm survivor. So he threw that in my face today. And I felt like dirt. And then I had to go make $1,000 for them. So yeah, it was a really shitty day. Siike Donnelly, a Florida man. Ain't that right, Eddie? But I can't wait for my birthday. Hey, I can't wait for your birthday either, Ferris. I'll try to do a live stream around your birthday so you can remind me. Thank you, Cinnabon, for the slow clap. Oh no, the dreaded F word. Yeah, I'm going to probably say a few of them. But anyway, I just wanted to vent because, like, what a day, man. And I called my mom. I'm like, what do I do? Like, how do I stay motivated to go into work tomorrow? Like, I got to work another, like, 9-10 hour day tomorrow, and then I got to work Monday. Like, how do I do it after being treated like that? And, like, and having them throw that in my face, like, well, you're an aneurysm survivor. You should have told us about that. I'm like, well, look at that. I did tell you about it. And not only that, but I talk about it at work. People ask me like, hey, why do you, sometimes I walk a certain way where it's like I look hunched and weird. And I go, why are you doing that? I go, I'm compensating for the pain. So it was, man, it was a really, and I'm like, and yeah, someone just said, are you contacting a lawyer, Andrew? I should. And I don't ever want to do that. I fought Lego. Like, you guys don't know with the stuff I had to go through at Lego last year, me and a couple coworkers, and how we were treated by upper management. And it was awful, man. Like, it was really awful. It was embarrassing the way we were embarrassed the way they treated us. And I was like, this is supposed to be a new life. I moved to Florida. I get away from, Lego. I left them. I love the job at Lego. I just feel like some of my upper management, they just weren't as good leaders as they could have been. And I think they realized that. And so I think towards the end there, we all found a middle ground, and we were working towards a better, community in that region. And so that's why I felt good leaving, because I'm like, all right, now I feel like we went through the war, and now everyone's doing better, and they're communicating better, and they're working better. And so I was like, good, I can leave now. I don't have to be stressed about this place anymore. And hopefully all these employees here will now have a better job now after I leave. They'll do a lot better, and even better without me, which will be great. So I hate that. I'm like, I never wanted to go to that level. I'm like, it's workman's comp. You pay the bill. Like you told me to go. Like, why am I stuck with the bill? I didn't do anything wrong that day. I was dehydrated. I was passing out. I did nothing wrong. Why am I I have $7 in my bank account right now, and I get this bill that was like a couple grand. I'm like, this isn't fair. I didn't do anything wrong. That's okay. My network sucks. F COVID. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it was a shady day. I want to be a professional wrestler, hopefully WWE superstar, but I don't know if they'll accept a transgender woman as one. That's my concern about my dream job. Don't let that slow you down. Don't do it. I've had friends, I have friends that are transgender, and they tell me that stuff too. They say, I'm afraid to do this because I'm afraid of how they'll perceive me as a transgender. Don't be afraid because of that. If you are who you are, push forward. Don't let other people's words hurt you. Don't give people that power. And that's why I'm so mad right now that I'm upset over what happened at work today. But it wasn't fair to me. I just thought it was really shitty, because I'm like, I come in and bust my butt every day. And there are things like today, my arm hurt so bad. I was on a basketball game. I didn't use my left arm all day. I was just talking to people using my right arm. And anytime I was shooting with guests, like they're like, hey, shoot with me, we're having fun. And I did everything with one arm, because this arm hurts so bad, because my shoulder injury from before still acts up sometimes. And I must have slept really bad on it or something, because I woke up today and it was killing me. And I took all kinds of stuff to numb the pain, and it didn't work. And I didn't complain about it once today. This is my first time that I'm bitching about my arm. I did that whole day, made $1,000 playing basketball with people. And I do that every time I go to work. If I call out sick for work, it's a major deal. It means that I can't physically drive. I'm in so much pain. That's the only reason I would call out for work. So to get hit with this bill and then be talked to that way was really crappy. So yeah, I don't know. I hate the possibility that I might have to contact a lawyer, because I just want this bill paid for. I want to go back to work. I don't want to lose my job. Certainly don't want anything to happen to the people that work at this company. I think everyone there is nice. So I don't want to do that. But I will do that if it comes to that. Internet is cutting out. This is stressful though. Just to hear this, I feel like companies will do this kind of stuff because of the current economic situation, which is exactly what my brother said. And my brother also brought up something that I didn't even think of. He said, what if the company you work for doesn't have a workman compensation division thing set up? So we looked at Florida law, and it is law in Florida that you have to have workman's comp, which means if an incident report is filled out and I bring a piece of paper from the hospital and they fill it out, it's supposed to get taken care of. And it even says no matter whose fault. So even if I passed out from a pre-existing condition that was exacerbated by the current condition of being dehydrated, it still falls on them to take care of it. So my brother helped me look that up. So yes, I have a friend whose father is a lawyer, and he already told me to contact him on Monday about everything and tell him all this stuff. So I figured, you know what, let's do a live stream, let's make a video, and I'll send it to him, and he can, take tomorrow or Monday to watch it if he wants, and he can hear my story, and then we can talk on the phone afterwards. So that's the other reason I'm doing this too. Yeah, aneurysm, it's close enough. I see what you're saying. But So when my brother saw that, he said, what if they don't even have a workman's comp? Because if that's the case, then they're going to be in a lot of trouble, especially as a contractor for SeaWorld. And I said, see, this is not what I want to think about. I don't want to hurt anybody. I just want that bill paid so I can just keep going to work. I'm not here to cause problems. I just like to keep my head down and work and do my job. So all of this stacking up, I'm like, please don't tell me that. And please don't put that in my head that they may not even have a workman's, because that just makes them that puts them in so much trouble. So I hope that's not the case. I hope it's something else. I hope it's just, I don't know, some kind of negligence or something, but I shouldn't have to pay a dime of that bill. I didn't do anything wrong. So I wanted a video of this so you guys can hear the story and see my face and see how upset I got talking about it. Oh my effing God, this whole situation sounds stupid. It sucks. It's so avoidable. It's so avoidable. He could have just told me today, hey, workman's comp's taking care of it. Thank you for doing all your hard work. Get out there and kill it today. Like, that's literally how that conversation should have gone. But to bring up, hey, you didn't put that on your resume. You don't talk to your employees like that. I would never talk to somebody like that who was my employee. And if I did, I should be reprimanded for it. So yeah, it was a shitty day. Aneurysm survivor or not, you should be treated like a human. Everyone should be treated like a human because we're humans. We're all humans. So this is why I say, like, when Ray Fisher says he had a terrible time on a movie set, I'm like, I fucking believe that. Because people have terrible times in their normal BS jobs every day. So of course people are going to have shitty days on movie sets. So I believe that. And the way I was talked to today, I'm like, no, it's like, it's not that I never disbelieved Ray Fisher's story, but I just was like, I need more information. I need more of this. I need more of that. But I believe the base of his complaint, which is how he was probably treated on that movie set. I have no doubt in my mind a bunch of people were treated like shit on that movie set. I've been on movie sets where I've been treated like dirt numerous times. And look how I was treated today from a company that most people haven't even heard of. So of course Warner Brothers isn't above treating people like dirt. They probably do it all the time. Same with everybody. Every company does it. Hey man, I want to stick around, but my internet's not able to sustain the live stream. Low res, I'm sorry to hear what's happening. Hey, thank you, Andrew. No problem, man. I'm pretty much done now. I'll talk for a few more minutes and we'll get out of here. But thank you for the 11 thumbs up. Thank you guys for letting me just vent. I'm so sorry. I'd happily bust my butt off for that company, but I'm afraid of unfair treatment. Like I said, it's hard. I'm not in your shoes, so I don't know. I can only tell you what life is like from my perspective. And for me, I believe in going in and doing 100% every day. That is just what we should do as people. And I believe that if you work that hard, people recognize that you're good, and they treat you accordingly. They treat you like they know you're a hard worker and that you're an asset to the company, regardless of anything about you. It shouldn't be about that. But again, I can only tell you things from my perspective. So I understand your trepidation. And like I said, I've had friends that have told me similar things about, I want to go and bust my butt for this company and do my best, but what if they treat me wrong? But the second you start thinking, what if they treat me wrong, then you're going to perceive everything they do as wrong treatment. You got to go in thinking that people are good and that everyone's going to treat you right. So that way, when you have a day like I had today, you know it was not good. You know it was not the right way they should have handled that. So if you go in and you don't think about the negative and what people think negatively, who cares? Who cares what they think? It doesn't matter. You go in and do your job and you kick ass at it. And that's what I believe. And I've been doing that my whole life. And you know what? I've very rarely have ever been rewarded for it, but I don't care as long as I get to keep a roof over my head and I get to feed myself and my dog. That's all I want out of my life. It is not a lot to ask for. Not a hugger right now, but I'd offer you a virtual hug. Sorry to hear you had a tough, it's okay. I mean, I'm sure people have it worse every single day. That's why I hate really complaining about it, but I wanted to document my feelings and how I felt and talking to you guys honestly about it, just in case I need it for future, lawyer shit or something like, and that sucks. I shouldn't be thinking about that. I should have went into work today and heard, hey, workman's comp's taking care of it. We just want to make sure you stay hydrated at all your games. We're going to implement the system where we have water jugs which one of our, I don't want to say names, but one of our managers, she did come up with that idea and spent her own money to buy like a water jug and put it out at one of the games, which was desperately needed because I was out at one of those games before they put that water jug out there, and I was left out there for 4 hours with no water. So again, even after I had a dehydration situation, I'm still put in situations where I could pass out again because there's no water stations around these places. I'm like, we're in SeaWorld. You think there'd be plenty of water, but out where the Halloween stuff is, not easy access to water. At this one game I was at, if the office is out of water and that stand isn't open, you got no water over there. So it's a real bummer. And they promise that they provide water. That's part of the contract you sign when you work for them, is that they'll provide you with a thing, and they tell you drink plenty of water. How can I drink plenty of water if there's no water here and if no one will bring it? I had to have a coworker just happened to be in the park as a guest one day, and I was at the same game that I passed out at before, and it was like 3.5 hours. I had no water, and I was like hurting, and they forgot about me. My boss forgot about me. Never even they're supposed to come and physically check on you every hour and ask how much you're making. Never saw him the whole day. The whole day I was out there for 7.5 hours. I got no lunch and no one came out. And luckily my coworker, she was in the park just as a guest. And I begged her. I said, look, please. And I didn't have to beg. She said, you could have just asked. You didn't have to beg. And I'm like, I know, but I'm so dehydrated. I have no water, nothing in my system. Can I give you my credit card? Will you go buy me like 2 drinks at a stand nearby? And she said, absolutely. So I gave her my credit card and she went and bought me a couple drinks. Paid full price for them, not even like employee discount prices, just to get hydrated, which is all these things are things that would put them in a world of trouble. And it's not things that I want to use against me. Like I said, I just want to go to work and just do my job and make money for people. Like that's all I want. So I can get my little $11 an hour and come home and put it towards this $1,200 a month apartment that I can barely afford. Thanks, Hotspot. I appreciate it. But like I said, if you guys, I'm sure you guys have tough days like this too. So feel free to tell me about them anytime. Pick a random video, leave a comment, whatever it is. Like tell me about your days like this too. This is a two-way street here. So if you guys have bad days, let me know. Like vent to me too. That's what I'm here for. So I know I'm not on social media anymore, but I have the community board. You can always post on the community board, pick a topic, leave a comment, pick a video, leave a comment. I'll listen. I'll read it. Yeah, this year has been bad with everything. And yeah, COVID. I mean, that's what I'm saying. There's people out there with real problems. This shouldn't even have been a problem. I should have went into work today, been told it was taken care of, and then been like, hey, you're awesome. You're great at your job. I set a high goal for you, but I think you can hit it. I believe in you. Go out there, crush it like you always do. Thanks for working so hard for me. That's how that should have gone this morning, not the way it went. And then imagine hearing that and getting your ailments thrown in your face in a way. And then you have to go stand outside for 9 more hours, because that was at the start of my shift. I had to go stand outside for 9 hours through all the elements of the heat and the rain that came through today. And I had to make $1,000 for a company that won't pay for my health. That of when I got dehydrated on the job. So when my brother said, he goes, what if they don't have workman's comp? And that I'm like, well, that would suck because SeaWorld hires them. We're a contractor. So we aren't actual SeaWorld employees, but we're kinda. But that's a contractor. And I would imagine SeaWorld would not be happy to know that they hired a company that doesn't have that doesn't have workman's comp set up, especially when it's the law in Florida to have it. So I hope that's not the case, but I don't know why it wasn't. If there was a workman's comp, I don't know why it wasn't just taken care of. When they said it was pre-existing condition, I'm like, that's not why I went to the hospital, and I didn't even want to go. I wanted to go home and go to bed, and my exact words were, I don't care if I die. If I die, I die at home in my bed. I don't want to die in a hospital. Yeah, I want this year to end too. Hey, no problem, Cinnabon. I mean, I don't know. I don't know if it's good advice. It's all I know. All I know is just work your butt off and do your best and don't care about what people think. And I know that's hard. I know that's hard when you're transitioning and because you just feel like all eyes are on you. Who cares? Like they don't matter. What matters is you and your work ethic. And if you have a good one, then F everybody else. Screw what they say, screw what they think. Don't think about it that way. Just think go in and be like, these guys, if you're going to think something negative, be like, these guys hate me because I'm badass at this job and they're not. If you have to go that route, but have confidence like that. But most of your coworkers are going to be awesome. Some of them some might not even know any transgender people. So there's an opportunity to teach. My mom always wanted me to be a teacher, which I was actually a teacher for a short while. And I was a substitute teacher, actually. And I went to a couple different schools out in California and taught some classes about art and things like that, a little bit of history and stuff. And I think every opportunity you get to teach somebody and open their eyes and broaden their horizons, I think we should embrace those moments. I feel like nowadays we just see, oh, they have a different opinion to me, F that person. And it's like, no, you should say, like, they have a different opinion to me, let's talk. Let's talk and educate each other. Maybe I can learn something from them and then they can learn something from me and we can grow as people. We don't do that anymore, really. We should. So if you go in with that mentality, I think you'll be all right. So I'm not a hero. I'm just, like I said, I'm just a guy who just wants to keep a roof over his head. That is what most people want out of life. They just want to pay their bills and have a place to come home to and relax after a tough day at work, or a fun day at work. They just want home. Everybody wants a home. So yeah, I'm just a guy who wants a home, and I have one right now, and I'm trying to keep it. I'm not a goat. I mean, I don't know. Maybe if I transform, I can maybe turn into a goat. But thank you for the hugs. I know, Ferris, you're awesome. You'll be 12 in January, which will be awesome. Your birthday is January 11th, which is really cool because 11 is my favorite number. My birthday's on an 11th too. My birthday is May 11th. Yeah, 11's always been a lucky number to me. Not a cursed number. You know how some people have numbers that are like it's a curse? Like that movie, The Number 23 with Jim Carrey? No, it's not like that. 11's been a good number. Anytime I see the number 11, it's usually a good sign. I didn't see one today, so that's probably why my day sucked, among other reasons. But yeah, it just sucks. So anyway, this is my documentation of my awful day, and it sucks because I shouldn't have to do this. I should have come home and been excited that I did great at work today and made $1,000 on a game that was not easy to do, and hit a very high goal that that was set for me. I should have just come home and did that, wash my clothes so I can have them for work tomorrow, and then lay down, go to bed, and wake up in a few hours and go back to work and kill it again tomorrow. Like, that's how my day should have gone. And it didn't. And it's a shame. What's up, great ones? Well, you'll have to rewatch this episode later to find out how I am. But I'm better now because you guys are awesome listeners, and I appreciate it. I got emotional listening to the story, and I cannot stand mistreatment. I don't like it either. And trust me, I've been in work situations, and I'm not saying I'm some angel. I've definitely, inadvertently have mistreated people before. And then sometimes I would be in a D-bag mood and probably say something to hurt somebody's feelings and stuff. Absolutely. And I've made mistakes before. We all have. But I just know that if someone came to me and said, like, I'm sick and I got hurt at work and I need to get checked out or something by the doctor, you go, okay, and you fill out a form and you give it to your workman's comp division and HR, and they just take care of it. And that's it. It's not even a headache. And your first concern is everyone's safety. That's what your concern is. Your first concern is not to make money at your job. Your first concern is everybody else's safety. And then after that, you're like, okay, now here's our other goals, money, this and that. So how can you be a company now and say you care about someone's safety when, like, I'm left out to dry a lot without water, even after I already went to the hospital for being dehydrated. So for them to go, oh, you went to the hospital because your aneurysm, I'm like, that had nothing to do with it. Like that, I mean, it made them worry about me, but I kept saying, just send me home. I don't care if I die. If I die in my bed, I'd rather die in my bed than in a hospital bed. And that's true. Always will be true. That's why after I get coils, I make sure that any form that needs to be signed, as soon as you keep me for observation for a little bit, and then they're like, do you want to stay overnight? Whatever form I got to sign, I go, no. You have a friend drive my ass right home. I do not like to stay in hospitals. I hate hospitals. I hate being around people who are sick, and I have all kinds of, germ phobias and OCD and all this stuff. And when I'm not in control, when I'm lucid and after surgery, it's like I have little panic attacks. And like as I'm like half dazed. I don't like being in hospitals, and I don't want to die in one. I've already woken up in one with no memories before. Like I don't like hospitals. I know, almost a month before Miles. Yeah. I don't know if I'll have any money for that game, but I'm gonna try to. I put a pre-order on it, but I had to take it off because I needed money for groceries. So yeah, hopefully I can get it at some point. To me, you need to tell your boss I want money. I don't. I just want to earn a living in life. I just want what everybody else, has an opportunity to have, for the most part. And it's hard right now. I'm so lucky to have a job during COVID. I had to leave my job and come here, and the plan was, I don't know. There's a part of me that's like so ready to die already. Like, it's been 10 years. We didn't think I would make it past like 1 or 2 before I'd have to get like full on brain surgery. And I'm still here. So I'm trying to make the most of it, And I just want what I think everybody else has, which is, well, not everybody now because of COVID, but before COVID, it just seemed like everyone had a job and they were, maybe not happy, but they were getting by. That's all I wanted out of life. I just wanted to get by. Yeah, prioritize people's safety is great. That's good. You're a good person for that. What up, Michael Hicks? How's it going? It's all right, Ferris. You're the best, though. You guys are awesome. I'm getting the PS4 version for Christmas. I'm waiting to get PS5. Yeah, I'm gonna get the PS4 version of Miles too. I hope. We'll see. Maybe I have a couple games that I can try, because I was gonna trade some in, and then I was like, I traded some in and got credit, and I put it on my PS4 for like credit, to buy games when they go on sale. But I just ended up renting a bunch of movies with it, so that was kind of a waste. But I will be. I have a couple other games, so maybe I'll go trade them in and put it towards Miles, like when Miles as it gets closer to coming out. But I want the PS4 version because I'm not gonna have money for a PS5. Hey, thank you, Hotspot. You take care too. COVID never happened in the first place. It shouldn't have, but it did. And you know what? Life sucks, and sometimes you get plagues, man. Like it's I don't know. It's why I find Bible stories. I'm not a religious person, but that's why I find stories in the Bible so fascinating, because the idea of just like these reset buttons that come to humanity, like these plagues, these famines, these horsemen of death and the apocalypse, these floods, these everything. Babel's the one I think that affects us the most right now. If you don't know what Babel is, it's like words don't make sense. Words lose all meaning. I noticed that during election years, this one and 4 years ago. Everyone's just screaming and using words to describe each other that aren't accurate. It's the closest thing to Babel I've ever seen in my life. It's scary. You have Marvel's Avengers? How is that game? I've heard mixed things, but I haven't really watched any reviews of it yet. I think Angry Joe put one up the other day. I haven't watched it yet, though. I'm happy it's less expensive than it could have been. I think it's $65.99. Yeah, so the PS4 version, I think, is $50, which is outstanding. Hey, thanks, Ferris. I appreciate it. Well, Michael Hicks, thank you for your comments. Thank you, everyone who's here. I think I need to go because I do have to, it's midnight. I got to go to bed. I have to be at work in a couple hours. So, and it sucks, right? Like, I have to go into work now, and I have to compartmentalize these feelings so I can do my job. And I shouldn't have to. I had to like tuck all this away. Like, when I got told this today, I wanted to, and I had to like explain to my boss that I have 2 different resumes and how I hate lying to people. And then I was sitting there going, God dang it, I sent the resume that didn't say I was, not that I have to. Like, if you have cancer, you don't have to tell a job you have cancer. There's no rule for that. I just like being honest. But I have a version that doesn't mention aneurysms because I don't get calls back from companies a lot of times. And they say they don't discriminate against you, but I don't get called back from them. And when I call to talk to someone, they're just like, oh yeah, we'll call you back with your resume. We got your resume right here. And it's like, they'll zero in on aneurysm and go, all right, well, we got a healthy guy over here or a healthy girl over here. We don't need this guy, despite his years of experience and despite the fact that he'll he may or may not work hard for us. I don't know. They don't know how hard people work. I get it. But I don't know. It sucks. So we'll, I'll keep you guys updated, but we'll figure it out. And my boss was like, oh, maybe I can talk to, upper management and we can see, if we can help pay the bill. And I'm like, help pay the bill? Why am I? So I had to bite my tongue, and I'm like, just shut your mouth, take your rules to your game, like with my clipboard or whatever. Just go to your game, hit your goal, make your money, and go home. Come back tomorrow, do it again. You're off on Tuesday. Figure it all out on Tuesday. But it's hard. My mom was like, you don't have to go in tomorrow if you don't want to. And I'm like, I don't hate my job. I like doing it. So it sucks. It sucks that this happened. Well, thank you. I hope you have a great day too. I'm getting a good PC for Christmas. It'll be my only gift, at least until I play PC Halo experience. Nice. I posted a bunch of Halo stuff on my gaming channel the other day. Halo Spartan Ops from Halo 4. So I posted all like 11 episodes of that up, or 10 episodes over on my gaming channel. And I actually contacted a friend earlier today before I went to work to see if him and his girlfriend would want to play Halo 5 with me in co-op, because I think you can do 3 or 4 player co-op on that one. So we might do a Halo stream at some point on that too. And then I also want to talk to Lonely Symbiote and Sean about maybe doing some Resident Evil 6 streams coming up as well. So we'll see. Me too, getting a PC better than a laptop. There you go. That's nice. 4-player. It's 4-player. I'm sorry. So thank you, Cinnabon. It's 4-player. Marvel's Avengers is a lot of fun, more than what people said, in my opinion. Okay, cool. Hey, as long as you're having fun, like I said, who cares what other people think? Doesn't matter. Nice. On your birthday, you're going to get a computer? Nice. Get a PC then. I hope the Miles game is not short. I mean, I think it is going to be short. I think Spider-Man took me like 25 hours to beat, I think, total. I think Miles, they said, is going to be like around the 10 to 12 hour marker. So it's about half the length of Spider-Man. But that's okay. I mean, I don't know. I don't know. I know some people might not like that because they're like, hey, I got 25 hours the first time and I paid $60. How come if I pay 50 or 60 this time, I'm not getting the same thing? It's a good argument. I guess I can't complain. I can't counter that because I'd be a hypocrite, because I had the same complaint about Resident Evil 3 Remake, because I'm like, oh, Resident Evil 2 Remake, there was 2 campaigns, even though they were pretty identical, but you had 2 kind of campaigns, 2 characters you could play as with slightly different stories in some regards. And it took me, I think, 8 hours to beat Claire's game and like 6 or 7 hours to beat Leon's my first time through. So I'm like, that's 15 hours of gameplay. And then I got Resident Evil 3, the remake, and it took me 5 hours to beat it on my first playthrough. I was really pissed that I paid $60. But then Capcom was like, well, you paid $30 for it, and then you paid $30 for Resistance. And I'm like, I didn't want Resistance. I have played Resistance. I'm like, I paid for it, so I did put in like maybe like 5 or 6 hours worth of Resistance gameplay too, but not worth $30. That 12 hours did not total $60 to me. You are lucky that you're a kid. It's good to be a kid, man. Enjoy it, embrace it, have fun, but learn. Keep an eye on the adults around you and learn how it. That's what I was like as a kid. My mom said, I've always been a people person where I like watching people. I've always been fascinated by people. That's why I suck at like science and math and stuff for the most part. I just like people, interacting with people. That's what I've always liked to do. I like talking to people. My grandpa was like that. I think my mom said I get it from him. My grandpa was, he could see a total stranger sitting by themselves, minding their own business. He would go over and talk to the guy or girl, whoever it was, and just learn all about them. He's one of those guys. He could go from West Virginia to like Texas and run into somebody that he knew. Like they would be like, hey, I remember you came and sat next to me on a bench one day in a park and talked to me and told me about your grandkids. And he's like, yeah, that was me. And then he's like, and my grandfather would like get their numbers and emails and keep in touch with them. Like that's how my grandpa was. He just liked people. I think after going through the war and all these other things that he went through, like he fought in Korea. And I think after seeing kind of the worst in humanity. When he came back, he wanted to try to represent the best of people. So he was a good role model. He did what he had to do for his country, but when he came back, he was like, I'm going to be infinitely better than the person that went to war. He went to church like 5 days a week. He would help out at the church and give out communion and wine and stuff, and help the priest, or anything that needed to be done during mass. He would help out, could pass the collection tray around. He always gave money, and sometimes he would give me $1 and my brother $1 and be like, put that in there too. Like my grandfather never stopped giving. He always told me, give more than you take. That's the key to life, he said. You give more than you take. Hey, what's up, Drake? Anyway, you guys came. You came in at the end. Sorry, Drake. I gotta go, man. I gotta get to bed. It's been 50 minutes. I was only gonna do a 30-minute stream, but you've been very supportive, and I appreciate it very much. So, all of you, have a good night. If you had a bad day today, know that you're not alone, and I'm sure some of you who are watching this might have probably had a way worse day than I did. So if so, and you're watching this later, leave your comments down below. Share yourself with us. Open up to us. Sometimes it feels good to get it out, and I think doing this tonight felt good. And hopefully now that energy's out of me, hopefully just work comes to their senses and they just take care of this, and I can just go back to work. I don't like making waves. I don't like affecting anyone else's job. I just want to do my job and make money and help the company I work for, who was nice enough to hire me during a pandemic. I just want to make sure we all succeed. I just want to be a part of that. And so hopefully this all just kind of washes over, and hopefully that's what happens. So, but thank you very much. Good night to all of you. I feel bad that people get old and die. It's sad. I hope your grandpa's good. My grandfather has passed away. He did get older. I think he passed away. He was about 80 years old. He lived a long and good life, and he's up in heaven now with my grandma, who recently passed away about a year ago. They passed about a year apart, and I'm glad they're together again. It's the only thing that makes me believe in a heaven, is that I know somewhere out there the two of them found each other again, because they've been married for like 60 something years. Like those two never gave up on each other. But yeah, you guys have a good night. Andrew, everyone, Cinnabon, thank you. Good luck, Cinnabon. I wish you all the luck. Keep us updated on your progress. And like I said, don't worry about other people. Just do your thing and be good at it. Be the best at it. Goodbye. Sorry about your grandpa. Hey, thank you. That's okay. Death is a part of life. And sometimes it is unfair when it happens. Like right now during COVID, a lot of people unfairly have been taken from us. And it's not easy. A lot of us are having trouble, going on and getting through. So I get it. So wherever you are in the world, thanks for being my friend. Thanks for listening to me tonight. Thank you for the 13 thumbs up. Thanks for, everything. Give me a place to feel safe sharing this information. Thank you for that too. And I'll be back on. I'll have some videos. I'm not going to post a video tomorrow now because I'm going to go right to bed. I won't have time to edit it tonight. But I have a Spider-Man, Electro, Doctor Strange video that I recorded. And I will get that for you guys up on Monday afternoon. Probably, if I can get it done before work, I will. But if not, I'll get it done right when I get home from work. Don't say that, Ferris. No. You guys make me a promise right now before I go. If anything ever happens to me, don't. I know some of you might, we're friends. I know some of you guys might feel sad, but keep doing your thing. Don't worry about me. Whatever happens next, it's meant to be. So you don't worry about me. You focus on you. You focus on your family. You focus on your friends and your loved ones, and you keep doing your best every single day. Don't feel sad for me. Don't give up because I'm not here. Like don't do that. You are strong. You're stronger than you think you are, and you keep going. Okay. That's the best advice I can give you. And keep your promise. Good. Awesome, Cinnamon. So thank you guys. I'll see you in the future. Peace.